This is why a lot of you will not get recruited. Very simple. You don't get attention. There's two things you need to do. You need to get attention and keep attention. If you can get attention of the college recruiters and scouts and coaches, that's number one. Number two, you have to keep their attention. Now, who doesn't need to do this? If you win high school nationals or place or, finish in the top 10 or so, then you have basically, you gain some attention. What if you win a world title? Spencer Lee won like 3 world titles in high school. So you're a world champion, everybody knows you. You don't have to get recognized. They're going to see you. The top coaches are going to see those guys. So if you're not in a position where you're probably going to be top 10 at senior nationals or at Virginia Beach or at Fargo or at Super 32, then you need to think about, how can I get some attention here? Now, our college recruiting center can do that for you. I'm going to tell you about it. If you're not interested, you can turn the video off now. Our athletes have earned over $4 million in college wrestling scholarships since 2002. Never had a world champion. We've had a few kids go to some big time schools. Sam Bobsky just now committed to Iowa State. Logan Ferrero just now committed to Duke. And looks like Callum Sitek will be committing very soon. I'm not going to say where. Brant Whitaker just committed to NC State. That was all in 1 week. 3 of our academy kids. Now, they're in our world-class wrestler program, our very elite training program here in Missouri. And if you don't know our wrestling academy, we operate all over Missouri and Illinois, even into Kansas. And we have several different programs. In addition to that, Josh Coderhunt, about 5 weeks ago, committed to the University of Illinois. So that's 4 Division I guys out of 1 wrestling room. So we know how to get it done. Not one of those guys has won a high school national title. They're either placing or they're in the money. And getting noticed. But what happens is, when you're kind of right in that middle ground where you get noticed, but then they forget about you. Now, you win a world title, no one will forget about you. What if you win a Class 2 state title in Virginia, then you go to Super 32, and you go 4-2 on a 160-man bracket, and you had a 5-point match with a guy that got 7th. Dude, you're pretty damn good. You might have even gotten a little bit of attention, but you have to keep the attention, and that's when our college recruiting center can help. Now, I'm telling you, if you win 2 high school national titles, or you're a 2-time Illinois Class 3 state champ, you probably don't need our college recruiting center. The other 98% of you probably do, because you're right in that middle ground. Now, do those kids have success? Listen to this. I think it was 2014 or 13. The graduating class, the National High School Coaches Association did a study, and they looked at the graduating class. They said, who are the top 10 ranked guys in the nation in this graduating class? The 106 pounders, the 112, all the way up to heavyweight. There's 14 weight classes, so that's 140 guys. Okay, here they are. How did they do over the 5 years of college wrestling? 10% were Division I All-Americans. 90% were not. 90% failure rate. 90%. Now, these guys are ranked top 10 in the nation. They're on the radar. They have attention, and they've kept the attention of these scouts. Because when you're ranked top 10 in America on all the rankings, everybody knows about you. So you say, holy cow, 90% of those guys were not college All-Americans? How could that be? Because it's really, really, really hard. It's really, really tough. 1,000 times more difficult than you probably think. Not to discourage you, and here's why. So you say, well, who in the hell were the All-Americans? If those guys 90% of those guys failed. Well, 60% of the Division I All-Americans were not even ranked top 25 in the nation. And of that 60%, if I remember correctly, 30% were not even ranked top 50 or even a top 100, some of them. Gabe Dean was a 2-time NCAA champion, 1-time NCAA finalist. I believe he was ranked like 158 or 178 in the nation. Not even ranked. Not even recognized. So what's important for you guys to understand is that you don't have to be ranked that high in the nation in order to get a chance to compete in college. So you say, well, man, if you're ranked number 150 in the nation, which means you're basically not ranked, right? I mean, you're not ranked. How do they get the opportunity to wrestle in college? Well, they probably were extremely aggressive in sending their videos out, contacting coaches. Maybe they got recognized they went to a college coach came to their high school, they did a clinic, and they said, hey, we like this kid. Tell me more about him. Then they kind of started to follow him a little bit, right? Maybe texting him or following him on social media. I mean, there might have been a little relationship developing there. And that's what our college recruiting center does. Because most people aren't going to be able to, if you're not ranked high, you're not going to be able to get the attention. So, you say, if 60% of the Division I All-Americans were not even ranked top, basically top 50 or not even ranked at all, how many more great wrestlers fell through the cracks? You thought, I can't do it, no one wants me. You get dejected. There's thousands out there. You're just sort of a diamond in the rough. You just need to be nurtured along and polished. But I would probably say for every non-ranked wrestler who gets a chance to wrestle in college, especially even Division I, there's probably 100 that never got that opportunity because they never got noticed. And that's what our college recruiting center does. You can check it out, purlerwrestling.com. Just go to College Recruiting Center. There's a shop area, then a sign-up area. And so check both of those links and see what it is. We basically have a profile. It's very nice, professionally done. This is our system we've been using since 2002. Your picture's there. All your important, vital information is there. Now there's a place for you to update your profile. So let's say you beat a state runner-up here in Minnesota. You want to add that to your profile, and then you put that video on YouTube and you put the link. And every 20 days, we email the coaches and we say, hey, these 25 athletes have some big success stories. Check out these updated bios and links. College coaches peck around, right? And they get to know you. So we help you to get the attention, and then we help you to keep attention. It's kind of like going on a date, right? You have to get someone's attention, then you have to keep their attention, then you have to nurture the relationship along, and then you ask for marriage. What you guys do, a lot of you, and you high school coaches are guilty too, you just randomly call up a coach and say, hey, I got an 18-year-old. He's placed in state twice. Can you give him $100,000? He wants to be the next Olympic champion. He wants to wrestle at Iowa State. And the Iowa State coach goes, dude, I get 100 of these calls a day. Please don't bother me. You're like, no, he's a really, really good kid. He's a good citizen and he works hard. He just needs a shot. The college coaches, if they don't win, they get fired. That coach is going to lose a $500,000 a year job. You can't take that kind of risk. You're not going to go to a chick and say, hey, will you marry me? I'm a really, really good guy. You just need to give me a chance. No. But we do that from a recruiting standpoint. The relationship needs to be nurtured along. And we like to take athletes, if you're super elite, like placing at the national level as an 8th grader, we don't think it's too early to start getting involved in our college recruiting center. Maybe a handful of 7th graders, but mostly 8th grade on up. Very important, freshman and sophomore and junior. Seniors, no, it's not too late to get recruited if you're a senior. You can get on the college recruiting center and get recruited right there on the spot. We've had a handful of wrestlers who didn't really hit their stride. Alex Clemson, he's the head coach at Maryland University. He's a Big Ten Division I head coach. He was our first recruit. Now, he was good when he joined our academy, but he was under the radar. And he was a senior, was not signed. He went to senior nationals. I believe he went 4-2 at senior nationals, and did not place, finished in the top 10, however, and beat, I think, Willie Parks, if I remember correctly, was a 3-timer, maybe from California, Minnesota, somewhere. So he turned the coaches' heads, got their attention. He was a senior, great athlete. Boom. Went to Edinburgh University, was 3rd in the NCAAs. Brad Dickhouse was NCAA qualifier for the University of Northern Illinois. He didn't get recruited until he didn't really join our program, our academy, until end of his sophomore year. So he got involved with us late. Did a great job, made the state finals his senior year. Didn't qualify for regionals his junior year. Didn't make it out of districts his junior year. Senior year, class 4 state runner-up. And we helped him. He went to senior nationals, had a good showing. So I've seen it, right? But time is really not on your side. You can get your high school diploma when you're 90. You can get your GED. You can get your college degree. You can go back to college and when you're 50 years old and get a college degree. Right? You can become a chiropractor when you're 60 years old. You can start, becoming, you can become anything late in life. You can't become a college athlete late in life. They sign on the dotted line. Kids are committing now as sophomores. Noah Certain, who's trained with us for a decade, I guess, headed to Mizzou right now. I'm borrowing some mats up here from this high school, Hickman High School. We bought a Dollar General in Centralia, about 15 minutes north of Columbia, Missouri. We've had a big room here for 21 years. We just got a good deal. Bought a Dollar General that was for sale. 8,000 square foot. We're adding a wrestling room. So we're not going to rent out high schools anymore. But Noah's right here at Mizzou. He committed with them as a sophomore. 16-year-old boy. These other guys I mentioned earlier, there's 4 of them. They committed as a junior. 17 years old. 17-year-old kids. They're kids. You don't have until you're 20, 21, 22, 30, 35, 40. You don't have it. You don't have it. Your time is ticking. If you're 14 years old and you want to wrestle in college and you dream about it every night, dude, you have 2 to 3 years, 2.5 years. If the college coaches aren't calling you in 2.5 years, you're in trouble. It's over. Time is not on your side. So yeah, you need to pull the trigger. We have 2 programs. One is $40 a month. We're helping you along. You get our college recruiting packet. We're in touch with the coaches on your behalf. We're answering all your questions. The other program is a mentoring along. If you don't live close to Purler Wrestling Academy, you don't have all these advantages. Well, one of our head coaches, Trevor, he will mentor you through the season. He'll help you with the sports psychology side of wrestling. He'll be in touch with you once a week. He'll help you with your diet. He'll watch some of your matches every single month, every week, and say, do this, don't do this. And he'll send video clips back that he'll just take with the coach's iPhone, and we'll send you clips back. Hey, this is how come you got stuck in that front headlock. You know, you were attacking low on the elbow. You should have been high in the armpit. You don't attack this way. You have to bend your wrist. Now close your armpit. Put your right ear on your right shoulder. Then you circle out. That's why the reason you got caught in that front headlock. You know, these other 3 little tricks you weren't implementing. Boom, that can change your whole wrestling career. It's worth $100 just for that. It's a lot of time. I told Trevor it's not worth $100. You should charge more. He's like, yeah, I think that'd be good. It's gonna be a lot of time. Right? And you parents, you'll spend $100 going to a tournament right in town. You drive 20 minutes away, you take your son and daughter and your wife, your son's wrestling, you sit in the bleachers for 14 hours, you wrestle 3 matches, he wrestles 9 minutes, you're going to drop $100 that day. Why don't he win those matches? Right? So yeah, it's not $100 is easy. And it isn't really going to cost anything. If you get a 5% wrestling scholarship, you're going to get 10 grand. Bucks you spend on getting recruited, you're going to get it back. It's an investment. So I would encourage you to look into our college recruiting center, and if not, you want to go it alone, at least you have some insight as to how it's done and some of the statistics behind all of this, because just under 1% of the high school wrestlers get to wrestle in college, and less than that get to wrestle in Division I. So, you know, it's kind of go time. You can check out our program